So, okay, so Murray, that boy, was he a handful?
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that would be understatement, I think. Yeah.
When did you know that he was going to be a race car driver?
He always liked his.
I was actually, he always liked to drive fast, so I was sort of glad that he decided to do it on the racetrack. Because he had a few problems with doing too fast on the road.
Off and on and off.
The
and
wheels, the
Four.
wheels go on, and they come off again, and then he decides to. He's got it. I think, oh, he's done, and then the next thing I know, he's something else is going on. He takes them all off again and
Yeah.
goes back at it again.
As Mom says, it's good to be in a roll bar caged race car now that Dad's approved of the roll bar protection.
Yeah. Well, but he had a heart of gold, so
He was a hard worker, though.
hard worker.
He always worked hard.
Always been that way.
We had a dairy going at that time. And he'd get up at 4 in the morning and help with the milking and everything. Then he'd go out with fellas at night, and they hadn't been up till 10 in the morning, and then he'd get tired and
Fell asleep a couple times
Yeah.
on the way home.
yeah.
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 Was there ever a time, Murray, that you're just like going, what am I going to do with that boy?
Oh, I think I saw that many times. But
But it was only for a few years. It was just,
and only for a few minutes.
it was just yeah. No, it was more like a few years.
Yeah,
About
yeah.
3 years
He-
that was a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you have to take his keys away?
No.
Um, actually, that happened himself.
Yeah.
He went down. He had not been. He had got up early, and the other friends hadn't, and they were at some house. He had one beer, I think, and it put him to sleep. And they went with his car, and put it up against a telephone pole.
Yeah.
So it
Smacked
had
it up.
to be fixed, and I told them to just keep it there for 3 months.
To
Settle
don't bring it
things-
home.
Settle
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
down.
Send a message.
But that wasn't his fault. He didn't even know anything about it. He was sleeping.
Yeah. So when Dave was decided he wanted to race cars, how did that evolve? Murray, can you?
Well, that was
how-
later.
Was there
That was
an influence
later.
from Dad in there, or?
No, I don't know where he got that from.
I really
actually.
don't know how that came
I
about.
think
He
it
just
was
came
just-
home and he was going to run a race car.
Yeah.
That's just what I remember of it. But
It wasn't very much of a car, but the first one. But anyway.
we really enjoyed his racing. Really enjoyed it.
Uh-huh.
We enjoyed the race car. The first one particularly because we could go to all the races.
Right there.
This
Yeah.
this one we can't go to the races, so it's not quite as interesting.
By the time he was doing that, being that I'm a tad more mature than he is, a little older, I was off working and that kind of thing. But I would get updates, and I'd remind him that he had best be careful because his guardian angel might not be there when he was out, doing his driving around.
You won't be able to make the Penticton race?
No, I don't think so.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt it.
What if I came and got you?
No,
No.
we're getting too old.
We're
Oh, yeah?
getting there. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But this
it's-
other one was right over here, so
easy.
it was perfect. We could go to all of them,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Down there.
and it worked out really well. Yeah.
But-
He didn't have he always left the race car here, so it wasn't far to take it or anything.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave was telling me a couple days ago that on his 19th birthday, that mom cooked a turkey for him because he made it to 19.
Yeah, that's probably the fact. There was times at that time when I worried, very definitely worried.
Yeah, tell me more about that, Murray. I'll start with Murray here. Murray,
Yeah.
did you ever worry about him when he's out there on the track?
Not really. No,
Because
Not after the first one.
no,
No, not after the first track ride.
Yeah.
After that, we sort of got used to it.
yeah. Kind of look forward to it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you do worry, because
Oh, yeah.
they're your kids, eh?
of course.
But mostly I didn't want him to wreck the car, so it was going to cost him more money. Oh, dear.
Oh, I did.
Did you work on some of Dave's cars?
A
with him?
little bit.
Oh, yeah. Murray worked on the car
Yeah.
lots with.
You
Over the
you
time.
cut out lots of those panels to replace on the car and
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the sheet metal and
Yeah.
all that kind
And
of
he's
stuff.
going to have lots more on to put on the car now. There's quite a few panels coming in for there right
Yeah,
now.
that's going to be a little bit of work there. So,
Worked on the car
Yeah.
lots with
What
him.
What was your favorite time with?
with him,
Yeah.
anytime
Anytime he's around.
Uh-huh.
it's interesting.
He's a pretty nice fellow to have around.
Yeah.
Was there anything in particular that pops out about that your boy Dave, who's an amazing driver and such a heck of a nice guy?
No, I don't think so. I think it was him. It was Dave. And, you know, there was a lot of chuckles when you go down we used to have to come up, when he come home, he'd have to come up the reserve hill to come up and back up on the farm
In
there
6 Mile.
in 6 Mile. And,
That was before he was race car driving, dear. You didn't
oh,
have a
I
race
guess that
car
was,
then.
yeah.
You didn't have
But
a race
well,
car.
anyway, it was a
So,
case of him, you know, being in town, working. You, you get up early in the morning to milk cows and everything, and then go like heck into town at night and to his friends, and he'd get maybe a couple of extra beer, and so on the way home, he'd come around one of the first switches on the hill, coming up the hill. He spun around, you know, and into the ditch again. So I'd get a phone call, or mother would get it.
I would get you up.
and she would wake me up. But Dave
that was
in
before he
need of
was
your
on the
help,
race car.
so I'd have to go down and get him out of the jam and get going again, and anyway, get him home so he could go to bed. So, oh yeah, we had a few incidents, I guess you'd call them.
We were happy when he got in with the race car. He got his thrills out of the race car then.
Yeah. He never hurt anybody else at all, and
No, that's right. Yeah.
whatever he did, if he get banged up himself, he had only himself to blame. So, you know, but that's the way it was.
Yeah. Yeah, he
So-
made life exciting.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what if there was a life lesson that you told Dave? What would that life lesson be? Do you think?
Same as with all the kids.
Yeah.
You know, you make sure you do if you're doing to others, you'd want the same thing done to you.
The golden rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golden rule.
Yeah. And sis, when Dave took up racing, where were you? What were you thinking at the time?
Oh, I wasn't surprised, that's for sure. Ever since he was little, he, remember, Mom, we'd always know where he was outside at the farm because we'd hear, because he'd be running his toy cars.
Oh, yeah.
And that he was always, we wondered why he could even have any throat left from all of his,
Antics.
yeah, pretending to be in cars and cars or whatever. Yeah, Little Kingdom.
Where the service station
store.
burnt down?
Yeah.
Well, we turned up that
Okay.
road and came 7 miles up there.
And that's
Yeah.
where Dave pretty much grew up
Yep.
Yeah.
then? Yeah?
These kids had to go 40 minutes on the school bus to get to school every day.
Or
Yeah.
more, one way. Or more.
Yeah,
Actually
one
more,
way.
Mom, by the time they put stops in. There
Yeah,
was,
One-
there was
that's
like
right.
an hour each way.
Yeah. And I go to the bottom of the hill and pick them up. The bus for a while there, and then
Yeah.
after that they started bringing the bus up. There was more kids up there. So, but that fire went right through up there.
Yeah.
Just now, but it didn't get our house, and
Yeah.
it didn't get. We had the two older boys went into Daring, and they didn't get their houses either. They're still there, but
Okay.
we're not up there anymore. That
No.
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
it belongs to the Indians now. They bought it off them.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
So Dave is incredibly competitive.
Well, he was much younger.
Yeah, so, well, yeah, and so that could have been part of
Yeah,
why
that
he was
might
so
have been trying to
competitive,
keep up
but
with the others.
there's just, there's a competitive and perfectionist streak in the family.
Yeah, he really is.
You know, he just shines his light wherever he goes. You know, and in the racing communities, he's people really like him. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Dave has a lot of fun out there. You know.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Well, he's never short of words.
no.
And he can mimic other languages very well.
Yes,
Can he?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I've
you
never
can
heard
get
him.
him to do some of that. He can.
Well, right, yeah. Right from when he was little.
Yeah.
Remember they had that series, was it called Shogun? Anyways, they had, the movie did have people talking Japanese and that, and there was subscripts.
He can pick up the
Lingo.
the language very well. He doesn't know the whole language, but he gets the sound of it, and he'll go with it.
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah.
could do that. And then
He will.
he and Judy made a trip to China,
Yeah, they did.
and he comes back and he can say all the names with a proper pronunciation. And
Yeah.
Judy said while they were there, she was annoyed because she'd try and say the name of a city or something, and the locals there would just kind of be looking at her, and then Dave would say it with the proper inflections, and oh yes, okay, I knew. She said, very annoying.
Yeah. I don't know where he got that from because he just really didn't get it from us.
He's got a terrific sense of humor,
He has.
Yes.
He
yeah.
truly has.
and where do you think he got that from?
Oh, Dad's got a very good
Yeah.
sense of humor.
Murray?
There's
Oh.
Huh?
There's lots of stories that come out about when he was young and having fun with his buddies. All good fun.
Yeah.
Were,
Oh.
were you ever interested in racing, Murray, or you know?
Not really.
Yeah.
No.
No.
It was his speed that brought that on. He liked speed. Always has liked speed.
Dave has, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah.
He was really never reckless, but he's always been very well, maybe. But he's always been a very good driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Murray went with him. He was driving a chip truck there,
Yeah.
and he went with him one deal, and he had to back that big chip truck in. It was nighttime, and there was only about this much room on each side. And Murray said he just
Yeah.
he,
Yeah.
he's a very accurate driver.
And you drop that back trailer there, and then you pulled ahead and backed the truck with its own trailer back in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was unloading. Well, he was backing this one in and unloaded. As soon as that one was finished, this one was finished shortly afterwards. Then he pull out and back in. After that, it's all pitch black at Kamloops in the chip
I
yard.
don't-
And
he wasn't more than about 18 or
And
19 when he was doing that.
then jump in and away we went. And I had to hide behind the collie, because the guy at the gate,
there.
You're not supposed to
The
have
gate-
anybody with them.
nobody with it, I'm the guilty bird. I'm hiding behind the windshield, and Dave's on in. And then a guy jumps up on the other side, and he's talking to Dave, talking, and there I'm behind. I want to kick David. Get the hell out of here.
Mind you, our kids were driving tractors before they were 12
Oh, yeah.
years old.
Right. Yeah.
They were farming and doing stuff when they were about 12. So by the time they got to be 18, they'd back lots of trailers and things in place.
Yeah. Yeah. Such is life on the farm, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, life on the farm is right.
Were you born here then? I'm sorry, I
I
forgot
was.
your name
It's
already.
Marie.
Murray,
Yeah.
were you born here?
I was born in Vernon. Yep. Yep.
And
yeah.
Murray, where were you born?
Kelowna, I guess.
Yeah, eh?
Or as far as I know. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kelowna.
Your birth certificate says
And
Vernon. or
Florence,
Kelowna.
you were born.
Calgary.
What's that?
You were
You were
born in
born-
Calgary.
I was born in Calgary. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So we got some Alberta
Oh, yeah.
and
The wild
BC,
stuff.
Okanagan.
But
Yeah, yeah.
But we hadn't been on a farm or anything when we moved up there. We just decided that we were going to farm. We moved up and
Yeah.
really knew very little about it. Well, he did because his uncle had a farm a little bit.
Okay.
It was Burnett Greenhouses.
Oh,
is
In-
is
in
dad's
Burnett
Kelowna.
Greenhouses in Kelowna.
okay.
That was his
Yeah.
uncle.
Yeah. And Murray, what did your father do for a living?
A jeweler.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But Murray was not a bit interested in anything that small. His dad fixed watches and things. He always said, has to be bigger than that for Murray to be interested in it.
But you got together. You guys made a gem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's
That's right.
Marie,
Yeah.
Dave,
Yeah.
and made a
Bill
few
and
gems
Jerry,
there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, boy.
But Dad took tech school for mechanicking as well. So that.
Yeah, we took off from the Okanagan and went with two buddies, Andy Caldo and Ernie Ivins, and went
Mhm.
to Calgary and
Tech school.
to tech school there in Calgary and
For mechanicking.
mechanicking. Yeah.
And we were going together at that time. And he would write a letter today in Calgary, and I would get it delivered tomorrow morning.
In Kelowna. In Kelowna.
They put them on, they took the mail, they put it on a train, it came overnight, and it was delivered the next day. Isn't that different from what we have now? Takes us 10 days to get it by air,
Yeah, that's right.
and we got it by train overnight.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now we have email instantaneously.
Oh,
Yeah.
How are you
absolutely,
folks
yeah.
with email and whatnot nowadays?
Yeah.
Well, they have email.
Hmm?
Yeah.
You've got email.
Yeah, I got email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use emails to.
As Dave progresses, he's getting to be a better and better driver all the time. And now that he's running late model, where do you think it's going to end?
Well, I thought it was going to end before this, but he won't back down. So
Yeah, it was kind of slowing down there where he wasn't having too much. There wasn't too much of it.
You
But
know what?
now that he's been to Victoria, I think it's going to heat up
I
again.
think he's rejuvenated. The old,
I think it's gonna go.
yeah.
I don't know.
But
It's very expensive, though.
it's expensive for him.
It's terribly expensive.
But
Yeah.
Apparently, he's talking about going next year. Did he mention that to you?
yeah, well, I just presume that he will be doing it. You know, I thought for a short time this year, I thought, well, that is it, I guess, because the big push was he used to go down into Washington and race there, and
COVID stopped that.
yeah, the COVID stopped that up. So I thought, well, maybe this is the end of it, you know, because the cars always have been here, stored here, and but all of a sudden, you know, he got the wind. They built a
And Judy
blue
enjoyed
track
it
and
just
everything.
as much. She was just excited coming back this time.
She was,
That
yeah.
was a good part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about Dave competing in next year
It's up
in
to
the
him.
Canada 200
him,
and
I
maybe
guess.
even beyond that? I mean, if he's
Yeah.
running races, he's going to keep rolling, isn't he?
Well, you can only well, you know, you've got to make the money to put these things in shape to go into even try, you know. And
It's expensive.
it's expensive, and if nobody else is, if he doesn't have a sponsor, then it's all on his own hook. So he's been driving truck now for a lot of years, and he's good at it. But that's a young man's game, really, you know. And things are not as plentiful as they were either, you know. The way they keep refining stuff, chop this out and put it in here, and amalgamate and all the rest of it, you know. So it's not
I
like
guess
it
that
used to be.
Penticton race track is pretty nice.
Yeah, Dave really likes it.
He seems really happy with it.
He
says it's pretty
there's a little bit on the DVD that I gave you, Dave talking about the track there. Matt didn't even run in the second race for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's because he was probably going to be maybe behind Dave.
Well, actually,
you know,
even though there was only the four, Dave really enjoyed it. He thought that was a fun race. He really enjoyed it.
Well, it's nice because
Of course, he won it, so that makes it more enjoyable.
it opens up the track too, right? So that Dave has a little bit of breathing room there, and he
Yeah,
can. Yeah.
Well, any race is good practice if nothing else, you know, because they don't do it very often.
No,
It's hard to be on
He
your,
hasn't hardly been out this year at all. That twice down in Penticton, that's all, and then down to Victoria. So that was a big race.
hard to be, although he always seems to be, but it's hard to be on your top game if you haven't had some practice and
Yeah.
some time
That's
on
right.
the track.
That's right. Yeah.
And he didn't get much practice on
No,
it because of the
no.
rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So Dave mentioned to me about getting, maybe putting a video together so that he can get a few sponsors.
Yes.
Would you like to see that?
Sure.
Would you like to see Dave get some sponsors?
Yeah.
And-
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He needs
I mean-
sponsors because it's so expensive. You know,
Yeah.
It's time consuming.
very time consuming.
You know, gee, the hours he'll spend in the middle of the night, you know.
He's still working
Yeah.
sometimes out there. He used to be, not so much this time, but the other times he'd be still working out there at 2:00 in the morning. I finally talked him into, I said, you sleep here and go down home in the morning because he worked all day and I was worried that he'd be too tired to go home.
Right.
And so then he finally started staying here the night and then going home in the morning. But he worked hours and hours on that car. Really spends a lot of time on it.
Calibrating and recalibrating.
Oh, yeah. Gee.
And he's got
And
the-
then he goes to work on
And then
with driving that logging truck. He's gone. He puts in
midnight or a
hours.
little over midnight, you go out, jump in the truck and go out to the bush and
He
haul
goes to
logs
the
all day, you know?
goes to the bush at 2 in the morning. That's
Long hours.
And do you think while he's at work that maybe racing is on his mind?
Oh,
always.
yeah, I guess if you had in that truck with him, with a load of logs and full, coming down the bloody highway, oh, you wonder, you know? I hope the alley's not asleep.
but he's a very careful driver.
He's a good driver, but
He's a good driver.
But he's always calibrating.
that's right.
In his mind, he's always calibrating.
Yeah. Well, I've had a few good rides with him.
Yeah.
I always ended up in the right side of the roads. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Did he kind of scare you a little bit the odd time? Because he's, you know, I mean, when you're rolling, you're making money, right?
That's right. Yeah. He's a good, careful driver.
He's a very
But he's
careful
fast.
driver. But he's accurate. I
believe
mean,
it.
he knows exactly where it's going. He backs that truck in, that big deal from up there, and he just. He doesn't even have to stop, and he's got
He
it
doesn't
come
have to take
in
a
through
second run
there
or
and all.
nothing. It just, you stop there, comes in and gets my pickup, gets that out of the way, and then he, nope, goes to the end of the shop. You know,
That's kind of like what he does for the finish line.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, when he's trying out there, boy, he knows just where to go, doesn't? And we've seen him miss accidents so many times. He just seems to. And now in that car, he can't see. Judy has to tell him where everything is.
A spotter.
Yeah, she's the spotter. And boy, even on that last race, he got around that bunch that messed up in front of him, and around he went.
There
So
was
Judy
nearly,
saw it soon enough.
Yeah, there was nearly 10 cars. Out of 26 cars started, and there was nearly 10 cars gone by the time, unfortunately, Dave got pushed against the wall there.
we got pushed
Yeah.
right in the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that one car that ended up second twice went right over the corner of his car.
that was quite the
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
you know.
But-
And
But you know, when you those races, the first cars don't have to pass anybody,
that's right.
and they're already that much ahead of you. So you've got to catch up to them and pass all the cars to do it to win the race.
Well, Dave's been known to come from the back a
Oh,
few
yeah.
times, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's pretty good at that.
Yeah,
Well, he likes to
he likes it.
study, and he kind of prides himself on almost knowing how other drivers will react before they know they're going to react.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way to stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
Is to anticipate, see somebody and get used to how they drive. He said, then I know when whatever corner, he said, I know how they're going to go, how they're going to react. So he said, I can drive accordingly
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
So,
But you know, he said there was somebody at that race on Friday that when he was practicing, that other fellow was going to him like this and showing him where you wanted to get out to if you wanted one. Now that's real sportsmanship, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
He was
Another driver? you
Yeah,
mean?
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was another driver or somebody that was
in a pit.
working with another driver.
It might have
But
been,
anyway,
might have been
he
a pit
said
crew guy.
he said he really helped
But
him
he's-
immensely because when he was driving around in a car, so he was pointing to Dave and telling him this is way you're going to get this is the best way to get around. And he said so many of the fellows were like that. He said it really made it nice to race.
So, do you think that the racing is maybe Dave's second family?
We just go with the flow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'd say it's huge for him.
yeah.
You're not going to stop him
No,
if he wants to go. You're not going to stop him, so you might as well go with him.
yeah,
He likes it. That's his life.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And it was nice that Judy enjoyed it so much this time.
Yeah.
Because a few times there when she'd come back, she says, I really don't like doing that. She says, it bothers me. I don't like being up there being the spotter. I couldn't do it. I absolutely couldn't do it. I couldn't
No, I
stand the
couldn't
stress.
either.
But she loved this last time. She really liked it. So
There's,
that's really nice.
they had some video footage of the spotters during the Canada 200.
Oh, yeah.
And they showed them up there in the stands, and they all got the headsets on and talking,
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the integral part of the community, isn't
Oh,
it?
certainly.
Of the race. I mean,
Yeah.
That's right.
you know,
Because he's in the seat in that car, and he's just straight
He
ahead.
can't see. He can't
He
see
can't
some
see what's going on.
behind him.
He doesn't have any idea what's there. If there's somebody right by his side, he doesn't know. You know,
But she has to
and-
tell him.
she's got to tell him, and when the trouble's coming up or what, you know.
And it's
So
not really
she's-
been her thing, so that's
No,
kind of
but
nice
she did it anyway,
that
and I'm glad that she finally had a good outcome. You know, that it was what she enjoyed doing, really.
yeah.
So
I think Dave was saying that next year is the last year for Langford, and that it's going to be a lot of fun considering he's ran there once. That he'll be able to do the final, race for that particular track
Yeah.
there.
yeah,
That it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And especially because Judy had so much fun this time around.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
when I talked to them in the right after the morning after the race, when they got home, Judy was just as excited on the phone as he was. So that was really nice because, he's so gung ho. If she wasn't, it would be difficult. But
It would.
she just really got into it
Yeah.
that time. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really good. Before it used to bother her some, but I think, but Dave
Well-
said she did a really good job. So.
Murray, would you like to see Dave continue racing for a few more years yet?
I'm not really. I don't. He's done
It's-
really well, and he's an excellent driver, and everything. But
It's still up to him.
it's up to him anyway.
If he
But-
really wants to drive, it's his life.
He seems to be getting better and better. I mean, he's so consistent. In a big race, and the first time he's at the
He
Canada
has-
200,
this is
he placed 10th.
Yeah.
the only
Yeah.
racing he
and-
got this
and
year.
someone else took him out. He didn't take himself out, did
Yeah, yeah,
he? You know.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So he's got a talent. He's got a God-given talent, and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and he's got the experience now.
Yeah.
But,
Got
know,
those
and it's
quick
quick.
reflexes. Quick reflexes, and what he sees, he can obviously translate quickly in order to be able to react to it.
And I think it's
I liked it better when he was in the other racing here
It wasn't as fast.
because it was. Yeah.
well, it wasn't because high tech.
Well, it wasn't so expensive.
No, that's true.
This one, this class he's in now is just about for millionaires, and he's not a millionaire.
No. Yeah.
So it's really tough to stay there. Most of these other fellows have got mechanics that help them and people that do it all. He does
Yeah.
it all himself.
He does it all.
And that's tough.
Calls all the shots himself, and when he does it, he's the bearer of whatever happens. But,
Doesn't cost us anything.
He never comes,
He just uses the shop.
yeah, he's-
And he leaves it pretty tidy.
yeah, he does,
He leaves
yeah.
it pretty tidy.
So, just to kind of wrap things up, how proud are you of Dave of what he's accomplished so far?
Oh, I'm really proud of him. That's it. You know, it could have gone just the other way. It's just as bad as he on the positive side. He's an excellent driver,
Oh, yeah.
and no, I'm very, very proud of him.
Well, and he's very caring.
Yep.
So he'd never hurt an, you know, he doesn't want to hurt the other drivers or anything. So, you know,
There's nothing mean about him.
No. No.
No.
And Sis, are you proud of Super Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they
Well,
really get along well together. They were.
Yeah.
She mothered him because she was 7 years older than him. So she.
He was the last kitty, I know. Yeah.
How did he get the name Super Dave? Was that from his sister?
No, not from me. I believe that was his making. Never lacked for confidence.
No.
Let's put it that
No,
way.
no, he's always had confidence, all the
Yeah.
confidence in the world.
Yeah, Super Dave. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when in the racing community, when they hear a guy called Super Dave,
They
can't, you can't help but take him seriously, right?
That's right.
That's
yeah,
it.
they
That's the
know-
name of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
The
right.
name of the game is to
Yeah.
say I'm here and I'm to be contended against.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, don't take him lightly. Because he's,
I really didn't think that he was going to like it as much in this class because he hasn't got the money to have the extras to be ahead. You know,
Right.
those cars to be ahead
Right.
costs a lot of money,
Hmm.
and he was used to winning. And that level was possible because it wasn't so expensive. But this level he's in now, that's the only thing that worries me. It's kind of a millionaires level. They can get the cars that have
Yeah.
all that extra.
Yeah.
But he seems to have found that there's still super nice people.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
oh, yeah,
yeah. He was sure pleased with all the people down. He was just telling me how nice they'd all been and what a nice bunch they were to work with, and how that one fellow really put himself out when they were practicing on the Friday to tell him where, and he said they were the right places that he told him. He said, you want to be out here or you want to be and then over here, and he said all the way around the track. He was telling me where I would need to be to do well, and that's pretty good sportsmanship.
It really is.
It's fantastic sportsmanship, you know, too, you know. They back and forth helped each other all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I guess that's part of it. And
Yeah.
maybe that's what he likes about the racing,
Yeah.
is the camaraderie of it,
yeah.
because there's quite a bit. It isn't all get him without whatever.
No,
know.
That's
no,
right.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't try and take him out or something like
He's,
that. No.
he's
But-
enjoyed it a lot, so that's
Well, it's
it's
wonderful.
important.
Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I think this is can go into the Howarth archives, and you're going to see smidgens of this popping up on Dave's videos.
Nice.
Whatever videos I do in the future,
Okay.
you're going to see little smidgens of this popping.
These are
in.
just for Dave.
These are just for Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, his videos, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just for
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, this is a family. This is
This
Dave.
is just for Dave. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, no, these are only for Dave's videos.
Yeah.
For your family. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
spent a lot of time at this racetrack,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
It's all gone for naught now anyway. It's,
I thought it
Yeah.
was a terrible shame to I think it's wrong that somebody can shut something like that down. And there wasn't that many people.
that
And-
disagreed with
Yeah,
with
yeah.
having it there.
That's right.
There wasn't that many people that disagreed with having
No,
it
there
there.
wasn't that many that disagreed
Right.
with it, really, considering if they hadn't had all the permits and all the things they had. But that's wrong.
Yeah. My understanding of the way that I kind of interpreted that is that just despite the racing, it could have been run better to have more venues and more activities or trade shows,
Could have.
anything, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
outdoor
Yes.
outdoor performances, all kinds of things.
Well, and you go there was no drinking. There was no, I mean, there was a few people went up in the deal, but there was no signs of anybody drinking that much or getting drunk or,
It was
and
a
there was young people and
causing
older
problem.
people and kids and it was a healthy place to go.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And I thought, and just because you live up here, and they closed it down at 10:30,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it was only every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, when the Armstrong Fair is on, we can hear what's going on down there, and I think it's kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, why just a few people can
I
do
know,
that?
I know. You know, it's sad because I mean, look what's happening in Langley or in down in out in Victoria. There's another tracks going.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
You know,
gonna
I
be,
mean, what's going to become of racing?
yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Yeah,
Right. right? So
yeah, it's
And
a
it-
shame.
And it definitely,
Yeah, you best leave those for Marie. She'd have
No, I
trouble.
know.
They'll be asking me to do something I won't be able to see.
Can I?
You do it.
well, well, Dave he did this up to give to you guys, right?
Yeah.
No, he got it from down when he went down to the States.
Okay.
They gave him this when he went down for being the best and that from here.
when he won the NASCAR,
Yeah, when he won the NASCAR.
and that, so they did up the
Yeah.
whole profile thing. Yeah, with all his trophies and everything on there. So yeah, that was certainly a special time. It was a very successful year that year
yeah,
Yeah,
when
he was very successful then.
and that was when the track here was part of the NASCAR circuit,
that's
right?
right, yeah, yeah.
In order to make
There was lots of cars competed in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
that. And
A
then,
lot of people came from all over.
Yeah.
and because he won there, then he was invited to go down and watch.
He was BC champion,
yeah,
and he went down as BC champion.
yeah. In order to,
Beautiful.